Hey there, Dragon Ball Infinity. It is I, Riz, your admin without a title, and I'm going to do another role-playing, not review video. This is actually just going to be a general role-play video talking about what you guys can see in the title, Vitae City. This is something that was really spontaneous and kind of happened spur of the moment this morning, and it was first a conversation with Indon on OOC, and I thought, you know what, I can actually make a full-length video talking about this, and I feel like something like this, talking about the city and the world building that's happened in roleplay, kind of gives it more breath and more life. So without further ado, we're going to get right into it, and I'm going to pull this up. Bam. Excuse me. This is taken directly from the World Anvil page, and if you don't know what that is, if you're on the mud, just type in the word wiki. And since our wiki has long since been gone, Iconbon has done a very great job of putting all of our lore kind of together in one spot and putting it on the World at Anvil. So it's just an emote. Type in wiki, it'll give you the link. I'm also going to put the link in the video description so that way you guys can have it. But here it is. This is where the deep lore resides. And we're talking about Vitae City. So a couple of reasons why I want to talk about it, and a lot of it's going to be directly from this excerpt here, but the description for Vitae City is it's formerly Hero City, and it is a technological super city. Vitae City has become a beacon of light and a symbol of hope for all of humanity after the attacks that crippled the planet several centuries prior. It's a capsule city with a population of 400 million and rising. Vitae City is quickly becoming what the Earth consider a capital for their planet. Vast, pristine, free of major crime, and protected by the galaxy's first energy dome, Vitae City is the safest and cleanest metropolis on the planet. The dome itself was created by a combined effort between the Earth military and the Isarian Empire. It is the beginning of a technology that may suppress the destructive powers of ascended beings. Vitae City is protected by a metahuman police force in addition to the suppressive energy dome. So, when I read this morning, the thing that popped out to me was just the absolute massive amount of people, a population of 400 million and rising. That to me was like, wow, that seems like a lot of people. So I went to the Google and found how many people are actually living in the United States of America right now. And we're only at 328 million. So that means the vast continent of the U.S. has less people than this city does. And I started thinking about some other things, right? So it's got 400 million people in this one city, and it's covered by a huge energy dome. Really, I feel like we should be calling this the Vitae continent now. This place has got to be absolutely massive. Again, I'm thinking the landmass size of the whole United States of America to fit that many people in it. We probably could break this up into other separate cities, other separate states, other separate countries even. And with that, also, there's this massive energy dome that's covering it, and it's actually suppressing the metahuman abilities of our cast of our metahumans and how they kind of control all of the metahuman activity. So the best thing I was thinking of is think of like a show like Heroes, where it would be very common to see in our just general lore someone in a business suit flying on their way to work. You know, like their suit and tie is flapping in the wind. They got their briefcase with them, and they just land next to a building like, oh, hey, Bob. Hey, Bill, how's it going? And it's like, how was your flight? I'm like, I got some bugs in my teeth. How was yours? Oh, I wear this dome over my face. And to be suppressing that in Vitae City, one is got to cost a lot of power. And this is where Indon and I were kind of having this discussion of, man, how do we power this thing? They have to be, some sort of generator outside of the city keeping this thing going. And to actually have a continent that big running that much power constantly, there's got to be a lot of power. And stuff like this is why we call it the deep lore, right? Because it's just a simple city, a simple concept of the city, but it then can expand way beyond what is just listed here in this short paragraph. Indon and I were talking about, okay, what if they have metahumans who are also offering their power to power up this thing? They would have to be, hundreds of thousands of them all throughout the other parts of the planet, all siphoning power back to this dome. How big would the dome be if there are a metropolis of buildings? If we're thinking like New York level skyscrapers, then it has to cover those, right? Or it's like, hey, I'm up to the 35th floor. I can blast somebody with a key blast now. Nope, it's got to go beyond that. So, is it visible from space? Is the energy dome even visible? Is it on the visible spectrum? What does it look like? What does it do? And I know we talked about this with Venom, about like someone passing through and how it must feel to suddenly be suppressed and have all your energy and your key kind of forced down, and you're not your normal self. But yeah, like this exists on our planet, and I really feel like something like this would be really fun and really cool to explore. Indon was even saying like, hey, when I'm done with Hydia, I want to come back and take a look at Vitae City and see what's going on with that. And for the people who do want to have kind of like normal, just everyday human beings or everyday aliens who aren't part of the Z warrior style, like I'm a martial artist, like this is something else you can explore. If you're a scientist character, you can explore this. Hell, even if you're just a person who's curious how this works, this would be a nice little arc to be like, hey, went on this adventure to try to find one of these power structures, and that's was my goal, right? I just used this as a reference, but then something else happened along the way. And yeah, that's kind of that's the energy dome portion of it. And then the city itself, so starting off, it was formerly Hero City, and in our original wiki it was called Hero City. I wanted to have a generic ass anime Dragon Ball Z name, just like instead of West City, it's Hero City. And actually, it was renamed Vitae City. Now, the actual renaming of it, why it was that, I do not remember. Sorry, I'm old. I forget things. But it was renamed after one of our role players who was a savior of Hero City, and he really contributed a lot to rebuilding and like making a medical school and just all these things. It was one of Lai Psycho's characters. Can't remember his first name. God, I'm so sorry. I'm sure somebody will correct me, or Ike will tell me what it is later. But his character contributed a crap ton, and we thought, you know what, we should rename the city after him. So this is actually named after a player, and it has its lore, it has its reasons, and yeah, I mean, he definitely wanted to go down this path of let's build a city that's safe from metahuman attacks. So let's build this dome. And the funny thing is that it's got involvement with the Isurian Empire right here. So who knows where that kind of connection can come from, right? Like they are allies of Earth, but recently they haven't been playing too friendly with the rest of the universe. So maybe, ties to that. Maybe that even could have been something that Venom exploited when they attacked, and who knows what's happened since. But I just thought it was really cool that there's 400 million people in the city, and yet we always think of it like a city. It's more of like I was telling Indon this earlier, it's more of like Coruscant, right? If you guys are Star Wars nerds, every planet on in Star Wars has like one major place that it goes to, and that is the city. There's an entire planet that exist, and you are here. This is the planet that you exist on, and that's the city, and that's it. There's rarely anything else outside of that. So to call this a city, but it's the size of a continent, pretty interesting. And yeah, I feel like maybe a little bit down the line I'll do more stuff like this instead of doing a role play review, just kind of talking about some of the things from the World Anvil. If you guys have other places that you want me to talk about, other planets, other cities, other things that we can expand upon, I'd leave the comment or leave a comment either here on this video. You can leave a comment on the forums. You can do it on the mud itself. Whatever you want, just let me know. And I guess that's it. Under 20 minutes, and I'll see you guys next time.